It's our last match of the day here on Rainbow Six Bravo. My name is Intero. This is Kickstar, and we've got TSM squaring off against Nora-Rengo, a North American team. North America's had some pretty good success today versus Nora-Rengo. APAC hasn't had the most success. Cyclops got sent home, or got Fnatic going on the stream just next to us, and we'll see the fate of Nora-Rengo now as well.
Yeah, so it definitely could be the end of APAC here today, right now. It's possible, but we'll look at the groups before we actually get to the results. Group A is the one that we're going to be playing here today, right this second. As you can see, TSM lost out to Team Empire, but it was a close one. TSM managed to take a map off of Empire, and MIBR beat Nora-Rengo in a 2-1 as well. So again, another close one, but an interesting match where MIBR should have probably been able to take that a little bit closer, all things considered, because Nora was playing with their coach as a sub, and it's not your typical coach-sub situation. It was a little bit different than that.
Yeah, we've seen coaches, especially in APAC, with Dizzle stepping in for Magnet.
He was the start of it.
And he was the star of that match. But the thing is that Kazoku, who played and filled in for Nora-Rengo, is a literal level 9 player. He is by no means an actual player. He's more of a manager, owner of Nora-Rengo, and he does stuff behind the scenes. He's not a player. So having him come in onto this team severely weakened them, of course, and I think that makes an awful lot of sense as well. On the bracket page that was on your screen, spoilers inbound, so feel free to do what you do best and mute us. Team Empire advancing from Group A. They are the very first team, and then we'll wait and see what's going to happen here. So MIBR will await the victor of this match, and the loser will be going home. So will the Japanese team, Nora-Rengo, one of the fan favorites, will they be gone? We'll find out. Here's their lineup for you. So we'll bring up the roster, and well, there's actually a familiar face. We've been told that Mariu will be playing today. So he was rushed to hospital yesterday. We hope he's well, and we hope that he'll be able to make the impact on the team that we know he's capable of making. Yeah,
that's a pretty big deal. For those of you not familiar with Nora, Mariu is one of the premier players, not only on this team, but also just generally coming out of APAC, as well as Japan. So it's a pretty big deal that he actually gets to play. And yeah, it's going to be, I think, a very different Nora that we see play here today as compared to the one that played yesterday, considering they now have their roster.
Their opponents are going to be TSM. You know them, you love them. Pojo Man, Bio, Achieved, Bolo, and Merc, and they're coming in as a team that a lot of people thought might be able to make it out of groups. They had a hell of a run through the North American qualifiers. They gave Empire a bit of a scare, and now they play up against Nora-Rengo, and it's going to be a real test to see if Nora-Rengo can match up to TSM with Mariu playing. It's going to be, I think, an interesting match between these two teams. I would expect 3 maps, but we've been saying that all day.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen as much as you would expect.
Hasn't happened at all today.
Yeah, for us.
Every single match across the board.
Really, not even?
6 2-0s today.
Jeez.
6 2-0s.
Yeah, it's been a weird day, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely coming against expectations. But speaking of expectations, we always talk about this. TSM in particular is one of those teams that I think has a lot that people expect from them. Coming into this tournament, I think they were trying to prove themselves. They've had some bad results, especially in Pro League, but they've done decently enough at this tournament so far. It hasn't been the best results. Of course, they find themselves right now in a decider match, so that's not fantastic. But they did do fairly well, again, like we talked about against Empire, managing to take a map.
I was actually very surprised with how Nora-Rengo did. I was more surprised at MIBR struggling to get past Nora-Rengo, as you don't want to say it was a glorified 4v5, but Kazoku is by no means a Pro League caliber player. He's by no means a player that can step up and do battle with some of the titans of any scene, let alone the great players that they have on MIBR. So I was a little surprised there. We'll see what can happen with Mariu on this squad. I would imagine that Nora-Rengo is going to play a lot better, but the real question is going to be, what shape is Mariu going to be in? Because he's presumably still sick. It's admirable that he's coming out in a do-or-die elimination matchup for his team, but he might not be at 100% strength. Your maps, in case you saw them on your screen, Bank will be map number 1, picked by Nora-Rengo. Kafe will be map number 2, picked by TSM, and Coastline will be the ultimate decider.
So, going over Bank, as you can see, this is definitely going to be a better situation for TSM, yet picked by Nora. So, they've got to have something up their sleeve. There's no way that this is something that they're going to dive deep into and not be comfortable with, especially if it's their pick. It just is too counterintuitive. But if you look at the stats, it definitely is right now favoring TSM, at least in recent history. So I'm curious to see what Nora's going to show us. What are they going to have up their sleeve that they haven't shown anyone for quite a long time, that they've been banning to keep out of sight?
Both of these maps, Bank and Kafe, are not very often played by Nora-Rengo. So the question then becomes, did they lose the Kafe map pick, or did they prepare both of these maps for their opponents? Because you and I just casted the Giants and Nip game before, and Kafe is not a map that Nip likes, yet they still pushed the Vodafone Giants to the breaking point. So teams that are exceptionally talented are capable of pulling off near miracles. Kazoku almost pulled off a miracle with his team yesterday. There you go. He's front and center on the actual camera, and he's not a player today. He had one match, and that was it. He was one and done. Mario coming back in.
Yeah, well, it was, I think, an admirable effort by the coach, but you can't do as much as I think you actually expect your players to do in his position, so it's totally understandable what we saw happen. Now, here in this moment, of course, since this is an elimination match and a decider match, we are going to be seeing quite a lot brought out from both teams. Again, usually when you see a map like Bank, for example, for Nora, when they've banned it so many times, you don't expect them to want to go there. It's funny because I actually have totally different stats on that Bank. They haven't banned it at all. Yeah.
Oh.
And they've played it once and they won it. It's right here. Yeah. So might be point at different I don't know. We'll find out when we actually get into it. But we'll see. Nora probably going to be comfortable on the map considering they picked it, all things considered. Map number 2, of course, Kafe is definitely a map that a lot of different teams are comfortable on, but one that I think that Nora isn't, considering how often they do ban that one. That one I know they ban quite a lot. But we're actually going to load into it. Bank, as we start out here, it's going to be TSM beginning on defense, and so they will ban first, Nora on attack, and they'll ban second. We'll go through that phase right now.
We'll see if Mario is going to play like Michael Jordan did when he had the flu, his remarkable
don't know that
flu
reference.
game. That's okay. We could see Mario show up in a hazmat suit, but the Outbreak skins are currently banned in pro play, so we expect this to be a sick matchup, but not quite that sick.
Huh. All right, so Jackal being banned, that's actually one of the operators that TSM tends to ban quite a lot, and it was Nora who got rid of him. Or, sorry, no, it was TSM who got rid of him. So that's their typical ban. We'll probably see them ban Mira if Nora doesn't. Thatcher being gone, that's interesting. It is not, I mean, it has been banned by Nora recently. They're probably going to ban an Echo here, or maybe a Valkyrie from Nora. That would be my expectations, and then we'll probably have TSM get rid of the Mira. It's just based on their typical bans.
Taking an awful lot of time here to make the choice, and it's going to be an Echo, as you predicted.
So probably a Mira here to round things out. Mira is really good on Bank, and TSM tends to ban Mira. Unless they want to lean into it, maybe change something. No, not going to be the case here. Okay, so ban phase done. And we will move straight into the match. Jekyll, Thatcher, Echo, and Mira. Nothing crazy.
Pretty standard. Jackal's actually very interesting. Jackal was played an awful lot by Nora-Rengo, so that just seems to be a strategic ban against an operator that they are very comfortable with. Thatcher being banned by Nora-Rengo seems to be very much cut from the cloth of Latin America.
Also, TSM is, Jackal is TSM's most banned attacking operator. They really don't like playing against Jackal. And on Bank, no less. And yes, you're right, Nora is good with that Jackal. So, all of the factors are adding up for TSM to ban a Jackal. That makes a lot of sense. The Thatcher ban, for me, is the most off of the typical. Let's see, they haven't really banned Thatcher at all. the most banned operator for Nora is Nomad. And other than that, they've banned Jackal and Lion. That's it. Those are their 3 bans in recent history. So, yeah, well, they had to change things up at some point. Anyway, getting into the match, we're going to be going to the basement first, it looks like. Yeah, okay. TSM's not going to be playing the off-site strategy that we've been seeing a lot of teams bring. They're going to be doing a just a standard reinforcement of the drop-downs. A lot of 8-pack teams, the way that they like to defend the basement on bank for some reason is they open up the drops above site and then play on a roam on the top floor and on the middle floor. But TSM is not going to lean into that. We might see Nora do that when they get to their defensive half. It hasn't really been working, actually, by the way. For most of the teams that bring that that off-site hold, it doesn't work very often. Worth bringing up. We do have a Maestro here, and that's going to be probably the case for all of these rounds because Echo is banned and Mirror is banned too, and you need to have information. There's also a Pulse being brought, but that's pretty standard for basement defense on this map.
It's a heavy server hold, as you'd expect from teams that put the Pulse down below and then move them on in towards gold. Expect that to be the case here, with Bolo possibly going to be tricking the hatch above. Once again, as you mentioned, no hard breachers banned.
Yeah, it's weird.
Very strange to watch, the lack of hard breacher, but
the Thatcher
ban, yeah,
kind of is in that department, but not really, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's an awkward. It's gonna be a weird bank, that's for sure. Different than the norm. We were talking earlier, and it was you mentioned it. It was Slashug who said that if you don't have a hard breacher ban on bank, things are just crazy as defense.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think is the word that we would use. It's very uncomfortable trying to hold downstairs when you know that you're going to lose every single piece of reinforcement that you have at your disposal. So
comfortable, different.
Yep. Unorthodox, unusual.
Yeah.
Different.
Mario going to drone out to the Pulse inside of server, and he'll call that to his team. Here goes the drop down getting opened up, and Achieve will probably fall back. Yeah, there it is. So, okay, this is really interesting. Because Nora decided to open up the server drop before the drop down above the site, they, pardon me, they couldn't cut off Achieved. And the reason that they decided was that they actually didn't have a decision. They couldn't decide because there's Electro Claws, Kaid Electro Claws holding the drop downs above A and in the hallway, which is exactly why I guess Nora banned Thatcher so they could do that, but it's now working against them because they're on attack right now. Yoshingo is actually going to take out Biologic instead of Garage, and that's really big because then they can push in through Garage and have a crossfire on the site.
It's going to push Merc off immediately.
Oh, whoa.
Runs right into the waiting arms of Raisel. Down he goes. Ramu's there. Cuts through Achieve, but Pojo takes out Ramu. And both teams are going to lose another body. Pojo misses his toxic gas canister, so he can shroud himself at some point. It ends up being quite convenient as he's playing just inside of Red Hallway. Merc's going to find a second kill, looking for a third. It gets tossed out, but it misses Mario, who's going to continue to spring on forward. Pojo is so low on HP, it's going to be on the shoulders of Merc and Bolo, as Mario doesn't know exactly where he wants to go. No target prioritization. He springs on in as Yoshingo is down, and that's a third kill for Merc, as he proves that his worth is not just against Team Empire, but showing up big in round number 1 as well. And it's TSM taking the very first round.
And Merc's been having a really good tournament so far, gotta say. Definitely been performing for his team. That last round was really the fact that Maverick was not brought and Thatcher is banned. That's really what ended up being the downfall of Nora. And it's funny because Nora were the ones who banned Thatcher. So if they're not bringing a Maverick having banned Thatcher, then it really makes me wonder what the heck they were thinking banning Thatcher in the first place. Yeah. Because you gotta have something to get rid of the Kaid Electro Claws when you're attacking onto the bottom floor. Those drop downs being left unopened for the majority of the round. Well, I think for the entirety of the round, actually, now that I think about it. They had a Habana and a Thermite, and they couldn't get them open just because they banned one operator and didn't bring another. It happens, but that's, you know, again, that's on Nora. They put themselves in that corner. There's no Kaid being brought here, but it is a CEO defense. So while he is good here, because he can get the walls from a distance, he's not as good as he is on the bottom floor because, you know, there's no drop downs you really need to Kaid Electro Claw. Mark's going to be putting a bulletproof camera on the typical spot by Banana, and that's going to see all of the garage and the west rappel. It's a lot of information for the attack, and it's really hard for the defenders onto the attackers, pressuring them from the west side. And it's really hard for the attackers to deal with that camera. Speaking of information, Biologic is going to be bringing the Clash, which is a little bit different than what we usually see. We have actually been encountering more Clash in this tournament than I would normally expect. Yesterday, there wasn't as many picks of Clash. I think there was like one round where Clash was brought. Today, there's been a lot more.
Yeah, we saw it in the NIP game a couple times. I think it was Psycho who played Clash, and I was maybe a little bit critical of the choice.
He did really well on Montaigne. Psycho's Clash was...
He almost clutched the round on Montaigne.
Yeah, but his Clash play was... we didn't really do anything with it, to be honest. But then when he was playing on Montaigne, yeah, he was absolutely tearing people apart.
I've spotted the Clash all right. They have tools to take care of her. There's a Capitao on the board. He's unbanned. That's uncommon for what we've been seeing so far in this tournament. And then, of course, they've also got the Zofia there, too.
Yeah.
Plus flashes. Thatcher's banned, so you don't have to worry about dealing with her in that capacity.
That is a tempting firebolt right there.
And there it goes. Bio will get out of there very quickly. Takes 25 HP, give or take.
I mean, it's not really worth it for a firebolt. If it was 50, or if it were 50, then maybe. But Biologic is still doing just a great job of delaying, and he wasted a firebolt. That's good effort there from Biologic, I'd say. Good positioning, appropriate time to retreat.
Yeah, I mean, where else are you going to use that utility here? On CEO, you might be able to use it to flush in through the CEO walls, of which they haven't even opened just yet.
Something's happening.
Flynn is yelling.
Must be something insane happening. I have no idea.
It was a pistol clutch with Mav, in case you're curious. Rob gets boisterous, to say the least. Racer will get one of the walls open. Look for the other. He's got a second exothermic charge in his hands, and he'll place it delicately on the wall, with Yoshingo finding the Clash. Eventually taking care of her. It took 2 minutes, but there you go. Achieved also very low on HP as he's grabbed Merc's Jaeger, and you've seen a complete move from TSM's rules. Swapping roles as you see fit. Ramu finds the remainder of Achieved, and it's a 5-3 advantage for Nora-Rengo, but they will continue onwards. They find Merc. This is terrible for TSM right now. They've got Pojo and Bolo inside of the site. Make that just Bolo as Pojo gets gunned down. Oh, Bolo's there with 2. No flicks required. All he needs to do is hold one angle. He's exposed in paper. He needs to worry about somebody inside of the actual site. Oh, he drops Yoshingo, but it just gets down. No, he didn't actually down him. Yoshingo hit the floor. It looked like, from our perspective, that he'd actually cleaned up. Bolo waiting. He's got a couple marks in sight. Great patience, but he doesn't expect the late push. That could have gone so well for him, but it's Papilia. Will save the day for his teammates. Leading the wrong way, but it doesn't really matter. A new celebration on the board, why not? And Nora-Rengo will answer back.
Is that the new one? Instead of the face thing, we're doing the arm and the...
I have no idea.
They're making new ones. For those of you who... When did that come out? Was it the...
Invitational, I think.
The Invitational?
Pretty sure it was the Invitational. They did the L...
It's like half a year ago, right?
It was.
Yeah.
It was in February.
So back in February, yeah, Nora made the whole thing with you do kind of the face thing where you most people will know what it is, and I guess now there's a new one that they're doing. Cool. It was almost a clutch from Bolo. If he hadn't been pushed from paper door at that moment, I have a hunch that he would have won that because he had full info on the players in sight. It's a pretty easy retake in that situation, but unfortunately, again, he did not expect the push from paper. Happens. So we're going to go back to CEO, it seems. TSM believe that they can do this defense justice and hold a little bit better than they had in the previous round. That was a decent effort, though. They almost got it. Too many kills going unanswered, though. Nora, some great picks. And I have to say that ultimately, yeah, Bio did a lot of great work in delaying and wasting utility. But he didn't actually accomplish much other than that. And that's kind of the Clash's job, but I guess it just wasn't enough. The thing about bringing Clash, and this is really important, is every time you bring a Clash, that puts more pressure on your teammates to be lethal. Like, you know how we always talk about, oh, there's one guy, he doesn't have any kills, but if he wakes up, then that's going to make it easier for his team to win rounds. Well, when you bring a clash, you kind of by default are that guy who doesn't get any kills because you're not getting kills. So now it is extra pressure that's applied to your teammates, even if you are delaying, even if you are wasting utility. Just straight up winning gunfights, your teammates have to do that more.
Oh. It's the same with bringing Montaigne.
Kind of.
If you really want. I mean, Montaigne has a lot more lethality than I would say Clash does, though
Clash
can turn around and pull out that SMG and... Oh, no.
Wow.
Deeply nestled inside of the site. Bolo is gone. Mariu has found the Maestro.
Merc's trying to get the refrag.
Just misses as they go prone. That's Ramu all the way out on parking garage. He's got the same strategy that Vert uses on Rogue, which is you put the one camera up just on the curve of Banana, and you sit there with your ACOG and you watch it.
I think it was Cantor-Ketty who invented that one. The Cantor-Ketty camera spot on Banana. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was. At least it was the first time we saw it in comp play, because things that happen in scrims we don't actually get to see. But, Nora do have the man advantage now, and it looks like it's just going to be your standard Skylight take right this second. Pojo Man getting aggressive here by Paper Door. He could potentially pick some people off with this shotgun. He's only got 6 shots, interestingly. He must have made a lot of holes for site prep.
That'd be my guess as well. You can see there's a ton of stuff that's just broken and opened up all over the actual site. Lots of kill holes. This is very interesting from TSM. You don't usually see a team remodeled this hard, but they're prepped for it. Ramu will find Achieved. He joins Mariu as the only members of Nora-Rengo to get a kill so far, and there's a second for Mariu as he finds Pojo Man. This CEO defense for TSM is not holding up to snuff at all. No. Biologic cuts through Race, so he'll refrag, but can't do much with the UMP. It's all on Merc now as Bio falls. Papilia at the back by the Skylight, and the rest of his teammates assembled over in the same area. It's a 3v1 favoring Nora-Rengo, but Merc is a doc. He's still got all of his stim pistols if he really wanted to. He could juice himself up and go crazy, but he's going to get pushed by Papilia all the way down the hall by vending machines. Merc has gone undetected so far. Oh, he finds Papilia. The reflexive shot through the wall, hoping for a lucky wall bang. He's got 30 seconds to hold on while Nora-Rengo will come from the same angle. The Sophia will walk and distract him perfectly. Oh my! Merc, the goodness, the gracious, and the shots as he lands all of them, and that's 3 kills and 2 very quickly with the beautiful flick. And then the other as well for good measure. Doesn't even need a stim pistol, and TSM somehow miraculously survived that round.
Definitely a round that Nora should have taken, but Merc is just nuts. Great job to him clutching that out, but you could say with confidence that he shouldn't have. Misstep by Nora. I'm really confused as to why they didn't go for a plant. Just retrieve the diffuser, plant it, play the post. Frag chasing was a huge mistake there by Nora, and you can't be making those, not at this level.
I'm just kind of surprised that they stacked up the way that they did, especially when I believe the Hibana had the diffuser. They could have even gone for the plant if they really wanted to, and then had the Zofia cover. You know that as a doc, if Merc ever tries to sprint, he's going to be making an awful lot of noise. Yeah, you know where he's going to be coming from.
Yeah. This is definitely a mistake from Nora. Definitely a situation where you plant and play off the post plant, and you win the round pretty easily. But mistakes are made, and that just happens. Well, moving on, we go back to the basement here. This is somewhere where TSM was exceedingly proficient at holding the site. They didn't struggle at all down the stairs.
Just to remind everybody here that as you will hear Flynn erupt from time to time, we are very close to the other casting guests. For those that are curious, yes, Flynn is loud. Don't get us wrong. Flynn is probably louder than all of us combined. But we are also almost within striking distance of the other casting desks. So you will hear the other casters from time to time. I know yesterday at some point somebody said they heard me on the other cast as well. Likely during an explosive moment, who knows? So keep in mind there's another stream going on. It's Fnatic versus FaZe right now, and spoilers, so you know to mute the stream for the next 5 seconds or so. It's all tied up 3-3 on the same map, Bank, which has been happening actually so much today.
So yeah, can confirm, by the way, just a quick aside, that Nora haven't banned this map. I was wondering why they would have banned it 7 times. So those stats we had at the beginning were incorrect. Merc's going to get the first kill of this round, following getting the last few in the last round. Aggressive play on the main stairs. And this could put Nora at a little bit of a disadvantage. They lose their nades, and they lose the skeleton key of Buck, though that's not as important on a basement attack.
It's a nice play from Merc, and he's got 8 kills so far through 4 rounds. Not a bad score, and I would imagine that that number will continue to creep higher as he will go on to fragging rolls as well on attack. We've only needed 2 sites so far between these 2 teams. As CCTV was won by TSM, CEO was lost and then won, and now we're back down to CCTV and lockers. We'll see one of the main floor sites. If this ends up being a victory for TSM, they will continue to stretch their lead. Ocean will manage to open up one of the drops. Here's another available. There's a Kaid on it, or an Electric Claw, rather.
It's good that they brought the Maverick. Last time they attacked the basement, they didn't bring the Maverick. They couldn't open either of the drop downs because of the Electro Claws and no Thatcher being available since it's banned. So good adaptable play, or good adjustment from Nora.
That's a good way of putting it. The AR-15 in the hands of Maverick is odd, to say the least. Usually it's the M4, but the AR can do quite a bit of damage. It's just you usually don't want to have a single fire gun. Bolo, a great C4 on the Raysil. Goodbye, so long, good night. But Yoshingo above. He'll tear through Bolo. He's got complete hatch control. And that superiority by having the high ground will do him well, no matter what gun he has in his hands. So Bolo's gone. Red control now achieved. He's been tagged out from yellow, and the ADS next to him being his best friend. Another C4 in hand waiting for Yoshingo, who's now relinquished control. And there's another one gone. Achieved. A beautiful throw on Yoshingo. That is so routine. A lot of problems now that Papilia and Maryu are going to have. They're just going to drop, though, and go for broke. And it's all on the shoulders of Maryu. He subbed out the G36 for the R4C, and it's a 1v4 with a couple lit opponents. But good luck getting past that wall. He's got too many sights on him. He's not even going to get one. TSM will pick up their 3rd round here and will push themselves somewhere onto the main floor. Either open area or Teller's Archives. It's Achieved who gets that very final kill.
Lots of compliments being paid between the teams, rightfully so. So that last round, definitely better from Nora. The big thing is they managed to bring the Maverick, and the Maverick had an influence on the round by opening up the drop downs. Fantastic, great, cool, A+. But aside from that, Nora didn't have a whole lot of real power when they were pushing into the site itself. The Capitao, oddly, did not influence that round very much. Now, you typically expect the Capitao to be this huge influence on the round. You expect him to come in probably from server or from the drop downs, and he will deny the C4 outright. That's what makes the Firebolts so good, is that on that attack, he can just make it so the defenders can't C4. And if they go for a C4, then they die to the Firebolt. They might get it off in time, but they'll die to the Firebolt. So the fact that the Firebolts didn't go anywhere near your denial spot, which would be deep in red hall, is really surprising to me. Maybe he missed. Maybe he just wasn't in a position to land that. Whatever the case be, TSM had freedom to smoke and C4 at will to deny the plant. And the smoke was playing inside of B because you can smoke CCTV from lockers. So you can't. It's harder to deny him, but you can actually also do that with a bolt. So that would have still happened. But the C4, 2 C4s landed and got kills. That could have been avoided.
Actually surprised that the Thermite wasn't able to get away the very first time. It looked like Raysil was just slightly out of the range. The one that landed on top of Yoshingo was perfect. That was flattened, absolutely.
No.
That's to be expected when you're playing in positions like that. There was really not enough coverage.
I was surprised about the Thermite too. I thought it would probably leave him with like 75 HP maybe, but dead. It's weird. Maryu coming in from loan office. You know what I don't know? Do we call it loan office because like they file loans there, or do we call it loan office because it's the office but by itself? And
it's a bank.
It's a loan. It's loan office because no, it's because when it was on my team, I don't think we ever used any of the actual map calls, so I always got confused on that one. I never read it before, and it is actually spelled like loan as in a loan.
Yes, as in what banks give.
Yes. Hey.
Which are loans.
Listen, it's also a loan though. Just saying. It's the only office over there. There's all these other offices right next to each other, and that one's by itself.
I suppose that's a way of looking at it. So that's a possible entry point for Nora-Rengo, who've struggled to get in the door, at least for the time being. It's just been over a minute that have been utilized by Nora-Rengo, and, well, they're going to struggle even farther. Papilia drops an asphyxiating bolt and gets slapped down by Achieved. It doesn't matter if it's Achieved or Merc playing Jaeger. I think it's the operator who's having some more success, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
It's a dock on the board as well, so Achieved is just a tiny bit dinged up. He could be given a little bit of a stim if he needs it. Pojo Man goes down. You don't want to lose your smoke too early. That is not great for TSM, not great at all. And they lose out on that one to Ramu, who is an incredible shot. He's in an upside-down rappel right now. Not too far off from being able to head on in towards that CEO office, but how do you transition if you're Nora-Rengo at this point? You've got lots of utility to spare. You're going to need to rely on that hard destruction somewhere, but you don't have any control from above. There you go. You get a little bit more of it back. Down goes Merc and Bio as Achieved takes down Mariu, so Ramu's above. Achieved still very low. He's only got Bolo at full HP sitting inside of the site with a minute left on the clock.
Well, Bolo's in a good spot because I don't think they know exactly where he is right now. He's going to rotate back to site and... uh-oh, that was a mistake. You can kind of tell by his mouse movements. He didn't mean to do that. He'll be coming back up the main stairs and trying to deny tellers, maybe? No, he's actually going to try and make the same rotation, so we're getting a little stuck in his ways because there was actually a potential cutoff he could have done through the floor there, through the wall by the main stairs, but he decided not to, which is quite interesting. Probably wasn't aware of the push coming in from the main lobby. He's in a good position to deny as well from here. Ramu has taken up his old spot on main stairs. Impact being used, and he will miss a lot of shots in the main lobby. The plant will go down. Achieved does not miss his shots, though, and that's 3 for him in the round. Bolo peeking with Achieved, and actually this could be a stick right now, but it's likely that Bolo will be shot from the main stairs where these last 2 attackers are. Achieved gets a 4th. And will he be able to deny the denial of the disable? Yes, indeed he will. 4K from Achieved, and Bolo sticks it. And we'll see TSM take yet another round.
That was played so well by Achieved, and I understand what you were trying to do if you're Nora-Rengo, but why do you put 2 bodies downstairs? You had openings above the diffuser above you. You could have stuck 1 body.
Maybe it was a mistake. Because we saw Bolo drop accidentally. Maybe one of them accidentally fell through the teller's hatch.
Honestly, it could have been.
Yeah.
It's still something that leaves you scratching your head because you don't really understand the thought process behind it. I think Nora-Rengo very easily would have held on to that round and won it if they just had to put a body up top. Now you have a 3-2 scoreline. You're in a position to possibly split this half, but now you've given TSM a definite win when it comes to this half.
You know what I'm surprised about is I really expected the players on the bottom of main stairs to be able to see Bolo when he was disabling.
They were, but they were getting shot at by Achieved, so they were.
I mean, sure, but there was
more hesitant.
There was a window. There was like a 5 to 6 second window before Achieved. No, that's unfair. Maybe it's like 4-second window where before Achieved actually peeked onto the main stairs, where they could have seen him, seen Bolo, and shot him without any kind of fight back. And there were 2 of them there, so you expect them to be, you know, aggressively holding the diffuser, gathering information. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that Bolo didn't get gunned down, but. It's done now. TSM have won a lot of these rounds on clutches. That's been happening a lot. This is a closer match than I expected it to be early on in Bank.
It's a very final defense for TSM here, and they're going to bring something that you see is a very familiar lineup while defending upstairs on CEO. They didn't look so good the very first defense they were here. They were flawless the second time. And the second time they were only flawless because Merc won a 1v3. So, in all theory, Nora-Rengo should have a much better time with this site than anyone before it.
This is definitely their best site for attacking so far.
This really should be 3-2 Nora-Rengo right now. 2 rounds where they committed some pretty big mistakes. First, stacking up against the way that they played Merc, and then that last round, not knowing how to properly handle Bolo's defuse, and then the way that Achieved played.
Yeah, 3-2 in favor of Nora makes sense to me with what we've been seeing for a lot of these rounds. It's just, I guess, lucky play from TSM as well as, you know, good, solid clutches. And Nora making a few really key mistakes.
Yep.
So, let's see.
Mariu's at least made his presence be known, and he's made this team, I think, indisputably better by coming back, even if he is playing sick, but oh, good night!
But at the same time, he goes for stuff like that sometimes.
He's sent right back to the bench.
Yeah.
Shut down by Merc, who might have just broken double digits with that kill. Have to flash the scoreboard there, if possible, later on. No.
He's close.
9, there you have it.
Yeah. And one more. That repel from Mariu was basically a free kill. That is what happens when you repel in the main lobby skylights. That's why people don't talk about them much, is because they basically don't exist.
Shingo finding Achieved, though. I don't know what Achieved was doing, getting a little bit too aggressive. There will be no bandit tricking at all, and you have to forfeit the walls as CEO, which a lot of people will. But Bio's there, and oh, goodness gracious, he needs to stop. I don't know if he was detected at all.
Don't think so.
He jumps out. There's a C4 below him. He needs to be able to open up the wall. The exothermic charge will claim it as its victim. That puts Bio in a very precarious position, just sitting by the bomb chassis. Still inside of sight. He's got his back to Pojo Man as another EOD will go off. Any advance from Racel, shut down by a toxic canister, thrown out by Pojo Man. And there's a minute left to go in the round. Now, Shingo falls off of the windows on Cons or on CEO, which is strange because you almost always want to have somebody played in that position. Pojo Man hears the exothermic charge go down, and he's very wary, and he'll be able to get it. I don't even think the exothermic charge went off, so you don't have access to that second wall. That could be right there, the nail in the coffin for this round from Nora-Rengo, unless they just simply go guns a-blazing, and that's what it looks to be. Ramu takes down Bolo, traded out by Pojo, and Papilia will need to sneak his way in. He catches Biologic looking the wrong way, but amidst the smoke, he'll take a little bit of damage. Yoshingo has to go back up onto Repel, while Papilia just buys as much time as possible. It's absolute calamity inside of the site right now. A hailstorm of bullets will surround the remaining members of Nora-Rengo as they just sit now. Very patient. The calm before the storm. So Yoshingo finds Merc, or rather Merc finds him, and Pojo will get the very final kill to give TSM a 5-1 lead through the first half. Bear in mind, this is Nora-Rengo's map.
Yep, they did pick it, and it's crazy to see them down so early on. But it does happen. They're going to have to repair this map quickly, or we're looking at a really bad match for Nora. Though they have had some pretty bad ones so far, if we're being honest. Hasn't been the best tournament for Nora. Of course, that's because they were playing with their coach. And it happens. And they did a really good job having a coach against MIBR as a player. So, Nora, finally, on defense. This is definitely the moment where they could start turning things around. Defense on Bank can be better for your team depending on how you play. This is not a inherently one-sided map. It's not defender or attacker, really. It's a decently balanced one. But, I say decently, it's not amazingly balanced. But, you know, compared to Villa, for example. Anyway, Nora can potentially take their transition onto defense as a complete swing around, which is, I'm sure if you're one of their fans or they themselves, what you would hope to happen. It's a pretty standard lineup from both teams right now. Lots of denial in terms of C4s and Evil Eyes and smokes on the side of the defense. You've also got the Jaeger because it's kind of, you know, a given. And then on TSM, you've got all the tools you need to deal with this defense, like the Twitch for the Evil Eyes, for example.
This is something that we have seen every single APAC team do, so I'm assuming this is a hard-baked APAC strats.
The off-site one, are they doing it?
The off-sites with the opening inside of small office, and then both of the hatches above reinforced. Now keep in mind, those are reinforcements that are not going to be used somewhere downstairs. And there you have it, a soft wall leading into server. You've got a lot of soft walls into red, that's fine. A lot of teams will leave most of that soft. But then you have no reinforcements over towards vault and over towards lockers. That's really tough. And if you go with a lockers take, it can be free picking here. Mariu is gone, absolutely vanquished from this earth by Achieved. As the smoke will sail on by, he's taking damage even though it doesn't show up on his screen. The smoke obviously not propagating the same way for Achieved as it did for where it landed. And because of this, Achieved taking an awful lot of damage. He's gonna flub his frag grenade and it completely misses. That's actually very bad because there are some ADSs on the board and likely we'll have one in red that will deny a grenade from through.
There's nobody holding A site right now. Actually, the side on the drop down. That's it. Like
the hatch is open above. Yeah.
There's one player on the hatch, and there's no one else holding A. that's really dangerous if you're Nora. It's not a solid defense strategy to like hold the whole site. We've seen that proven time and time again. Rayseal's going to take down Bolo, who is trying to push his way into Garage, which is really bad. Default plant is being covered by Papilia, but he doesn't see it because of the smoke. The gas canister actually will cover Pojo Man, but Pojo Man doesn't stick it, which is interesting. And now the smoke is dissipated. Pojo Man goes again, and he dies this time because Papilia can, you know, see him now. So definitely a huge mistake there for Pojo coming off of that stick. And now it's looking like TSM are starting to fall apart on this take. Biologic's trying to deal with the people who are playing on the drop down by opening up the drops above those people. That's going to be happening right now. There's still plenty of time for TSM, so they don't need to rush themselves despite being at a disadvantage here in terms of man count.
Up till this point, TSM has played very poorly with what they need to do.
Yeah.
And we'll see if they can bail themselves out. Down goes Merc. Bio doesn't understand that he's about to have a boarding party, but he turns on him, turns on Ramu, pulls out the bearing 9, looks for the other, doesn't win the fight against Papilia. And now it's Achieved, who started us off with 1 kill on this round. Down below, he does so much damage to Papilia, waiting for the smoke to possibly appear. Bait out some utility. No frag grenades left. The Buck will make noise. He has to be very cautious when it comes to that opening, and he's blind as to where the smoke is. You hear the C8 go off, and he gets downed. Achieved can possibly win this. It's all going to come down to Papilia, who he'll bait out. He's got tons of time. You have to lure the Jaeger into your trap. But do you know where he is? Papilia does, and he shuts him down. Nora-Rengo winning the round miraculously at the end. And I say it's a miracle because it looked like Achieved was holding a sermon in the bottom of the bank. Nora-Rengo fired up after that one, you can see, and they absolutely earned that victory.
That was a really close one. Achieved almost clutched it out. You can imagine if he was using something other than the C8, like an L8 on that angle, because he predicted where the Jaeger would peek him. You can imagine he probably would have won that fight, killed the Jaeger, then won the 1v1 against the smoke. But he missed the necessary shots when he was challenging the drop down against the Jaeger. Nice prediction, though. You got to hand it to him. Good job to Nora for clutching that and Papilia specifically. When he retook the top floor, that was what should have been the end of the round there, because he had the control of the drop at that point. He could have denied the site itself. So good job to Papilia. Now, TSM still in the lead, but the first defense goes the way of Nora. They're going to bring a clash of their own, actually, on Ramu. That's interesting. So both TSM and Nora liking the clash on the top floor, it seems. Top floor has not been friendly to the defenders for the most part. While TSM have won it 2 of 3 times when they were on defense, it was kind of close. And the first time that Nora won it, it was actually also the only time that Nora won a defense. It's worth noting. Sorry, an attack, pardon me. They just won a defense, just now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got it. Mm-hmm. I got it.
Yep.
I wonder how much of this is just simply Bank being defender-sided, or the way that these teams play being defender-sided, at least for the time being. We'll see.
When we talk about the attacker-defender sided thing, like if you look at the overall, it's always statistically one way or the other, right? And usually it's defender-sided, but I find that often it just comes down to the teams that are playing each other. Like, sometimes for this team, they'll be really good at defense, and they'll be really bad at attack. And maybe it's the same thing for the other team they're playing against, so it'll be defender-sided. Or maybe it's the inverse, you know, like we don't know until we actually see it. Let's see. And it changes too. It changes with the wind. When teams practice differently, match by match, map by map. Ramu sees the open wall and is trying to gather information, tell his teammates, hey, is anybody peeking through that? Doesn't seem that way. No, I don't think anyone's actually challenging it. They opened the wall and they left. So that means that the rest of the defenders can now rest easy.
This is a very common spot for the ACOG to be. Mariu with the bulletproof camera down. This is as meta as it gets. Oh, on Repel. Bolo just emerges like a phantom and takes out Mariu. That's another disappointing exit for Mariu. The same thing happened in the lobby, except it was Mariu on Skylight upside down as Ash. Not exactly what you want from one of your most aggressive and accurate players.
Shingo's also on low HP right now. And now Ramu's on low HP. He was hit by a lifeline and shot in the feet, and second time is going to get him. Bolo misses the shot on the player inside of the elevator, but he's not going to miss the follow-up, and that's 3 for Bolo. He's looking for more. He could potentially still ace this. Rayseal's going to take down Merc, and Shingo on low HP. Ray still eliminated by Biologic, leaving just the Maestro. He knows where Biologic is, and Biologic doesn't seem to be aware of his position. It's the pro Biologic, though, who gets the final kill. No 4K for Bolo, and TSM will take another round, putting them onto match point.
I don't know if there was just nobody watching that main lobby, but how was Bolo allowed to not just get a kill and then continue to push through main lobby unabated? You had a bulletproof camera up somewhere near Banana. You should have known that, but it wasn't obviously something that was known to them. Or if it was, it wasn't communicated fast enough, because a 3K from Bolo as he just walks right in should not be happening, period. So, with Nora-Rengo on the ropes, you're going to call a tactical timeout. It's 6-2 in favor of TSM. Things looking grim for the Japanese team on their own map. Well, you're going to have to find a course correction on Kafe if we do end up going there with Nora-Rengo down a map. If not, we're going to need an absolute gauntlet. There's still 7 rounds left, potentially, if we go to round 15 in overtime. That's daunting, to say the least, for Nora-Rengo. So Kazoku will talk to the rest of his team. Possibly some new vision for
how to defend.
How to defend, hopefully.
Well, we'll see, I guess, once we actually get into it. But thus far, yeah, it has seemed like TSM are in the driver's seat for most of this map. Again, a reminder, this is Nora's map pick on Bank. Nora have never banned, well, haven't really banned this map. They've won it once, recent history. TSM, on the other hand, mixed results. 3 bans, 3 wins, and 2 losses on this map. TSM's map pick right after this, we'll get to that no matter what, but once this map ends, TSM picked Kafe, which is somewhere where TSM is decently comfortable with a, 3 bans, 4 wins, 0 draws, and 2 losses. Nora, on the other hand, haven't really played it. They haven't. 0-0-0, but they've banned it quite a lot. 7 bans. So either Nora has something up their sleeves on Kafe, or it's going to be a really interesting map. Probably a really one-sided one if Nora doesn't have anything planned for that. So it is really, I think, the case that Nora want to win here on Bank so that they can maybe contest on map number 3, which, if we get to it, will be Coastline. However, that's not looking very likely right now, as TSM have been pretty dominant, I would say, on Bank right thus far. 2 drones already gone for TSM, as you can tell by the slightly faded character icons on the top right. It's really important that, actually, the drone economy is something that we don't often talk about, but you've only got 10 drones on the team, and it's your primary information gathering tool on attack.
And we don't know. That's the big thing.
I wish there was a number.
Unfortunately, we don't know how many drones are left. That Vodafone Giants versus NIP game, we just speculate the whole time about, oh, maybe it's because they're starved for information. Oh, maybe they don't have drones. And it's like, you just have to guess at that point. In this case, we know for great certainty that 1 Twitch drone is gone, and then another drone for TSM is gone, leaving 8 at absolute most, unless others have been shot. You mind Maryu as Mozzie can possibly capture those drones, and then use them for his own team's selfish gain.
To give you guys some info, whoa, this is a rush in here from TSM, achieved already inside of B, and he's got information in front of him. Someone's droning for him. He sees one. Can't actually find him now behind Printer, and it's going to be a kill there for Achieved. But all the while, TSM is being punished as Ramu, Raysil, and Maryu are picking up kills. Bolo inside the main lobby, not really going to be able to help out Achieved right this second. And he is against the world. He has to ace to win this. The rush has really not worked out for TSM. And it'll be Maryu to shut down Achieved and TSM as a whole, as Nora put round number 3 on the books. Still favor TSM, but Nora's fighting back.
That opens Tellers up again, which was the site that Nora had won at the onset of their defensive half. So if they continue this, overtime becomes more than just a pipe dream. It becomes an almost certain reality as long as TSM can stay with it and hang tough. And what we saw from the qualifiers is that TSM are, of course, very proficient when it comes to best of 3s. Well, they're going to need to be if they want to have a dance with MIBR, who will await them tomorrow to see which of those 2 teams will go to the playoffs on Friday. It will indeed be a lockers and CCTV defense downstairs for Nora-Rengo, so nothing very surprising there.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say before TSM went for that rush was actually to build on the drone conversation. So I can tell you guys, for those of you who have never been in a competitive team, you might not know this, one of the big things that most comp teams do, and pretty much I'd say every team in Pro League, is they... I can't say that as a true authority, but most of them. they count their drones. When on defense, they'll count the drones that they're destroying. So if you shoot a drone, you'll be like, they have 7 drones left. And you'll base that on what your teammates are saying. If your teammate shoots a drone, 6 drones left, and so on, right? It doesn't happen in your typical Siege play, but probably both of these teams will be doing it when they're on defense, for example. Anyway, yeah, that's the relevance of the drone game, and it's something that is definitely, it sits in the shadows for most people. Moving on, though, Nora going for the basement hold, like you talked about, and they're going to, it looks like, do the off-site strategy that APAC is so keen on, which is interesting for sure. It doesn't work out usually. We did see Nora make it happen on the first round of this defensive half, but most of the time we've been seeing it does end up costing the defense quite a lot. We'll see how TSM choose to handle it, because that really is what is the determining factor. Some teams are better at countering this kind of thing than others.
Got second floor control for TSM so far. Open up over top of the server stairs so you can push down, or blue stairs as they're referred to as by a lot of people. It's always nice to see Achieved back on the Buck, as that was where I think he really rose to prominence last season when he was on Accelerate.
Yep.
As the team that qualified.
He was just walking in and getting aces with no one droning for him on Buck. He did play Buck the last time that TSM attacked onto the basement, though, so... And they didn't win that, even though they came close.
He just narrowly misses the drone. Doesn't miss a second time. He's got 2 ADSs in front of him after he lost Signal Jammer, so there's no mute jammer in front, at least not from what it appears or what we can see. Those 2 ADSs will need to be cleared out. Achieved's valuable frag grenades. Well, they're going to get caught right away. I don't know if there's any patience here. He's trying to rustle out the mute, as there you go. Burn through the ADS. There's one more left. He's got to know that. As he'll jostle, and there you go. Toss it on in, but I think it goes right past. Indeed! And he tries to pull out the skeleton key, but can't do it as Ramu escapes with just over 50 HP, and that's a hell of a confrontation to start things off. Flashed and slightly disoriented, but Ramu picks up a second. Can't get the third as he's down by Pojo, man. But still a big advantage for Nora-Rengo. You've lost your Maverick and your Buck. TSM will need to fight back, down a man for the remainder of this round. They've got a minute. They'll go onto their drones and maybe try to reassess where Nora-Rengo sits down below.
That was a really poor execution onto the blue stairs there from TSM, but a great hold from Ramu as well, so you got to give credit where credit's due on that one. He managed to dip, duck, dive, and dodge around all of those grenades. Pojoman's going to take down Pavilia, so that's the second kill for him in this round, and the only ones for his team. And Ramu, the one with the kills for his team, is actually dead, so, yeah, there's going to need to be somebody else from Nord to step up and contribute in the last 20 seconds. Bolo does not have an explosive round for that Evil Eye, and that's really unfortunate for him and his team. But he does have the concussion, and he uses it on the hallway to try and distract, and he's going to go for the rush as well. Mariu will deny the plant onto Pojoman, and Bolo goes down on the rush itself. It's just up to Merc. He does have doesn't have the diffuser. Needs to pick it up, but there's not enough time to find it and the kills. Ray still gets the last one, and Nora will keep themselves in this. Now 4-6, still in favor of TSM.
Back to CEO, I would imagine we are going to go, and that was a very good hold from Nora-Rengo. In particular, the smoke play on server stairs, or the mute play on server stairs, rather, being exceptional. Wasting utility, wearing them down, Achieved not expecting Ramu to swing the way he did. And from there, everything fell apart. You lost too much utility, you didn't have the control that you needed, and you wrestled with what should have been a simpler push. Where was Bolo to possibly concuss you? He wasn't nearby. He could have been there. You could have used that utility. You could have used the other flashes before the frag grenade, maybe kept somebody a little bit farther back instead of stacking up 2 bodies, in which the second, which is Biologic on that Maverick, pushed on in. But that's just one part. There was other things that went wrong too. Mainly the fact that TSM took quite a long time just to get to server stairs. So, you can fix those weaknesses. You got 2 more rounds, but man, Nora-Rengo have looked much better over their defensive stat. And I think part of that is Bank, but also that Nora-Rengo's just waking up. Mariu will obviously have some rust that he needs to shake off. And as the rest of this team just continues to play well around him, their fortunes will likely rise. And that's where we are. It's still match point for TSM, but there's 2 more rounds in which Nora-Rengo can send us to OT.
Yeah, quick reminder, we've been on match point now for 3 rounds, including this one, so It's about time, actually not including this one technically, but it's about time that TSM lock this out. If you're one of their fans, I'm sure that's what you're kind of hoping for right now. But Nora are doing a great job, to be honest, of keeping this ball rolling, keeping themselves in the match. And they have tightened up their play when they switched over to defense. Now, the big hurdle they have is the fact that they actually haven't managed to win a CEO hold. Nora lost CEO and swiftly went away from that after that failure. They were like, nope, not going to try that again. It's not worth it. And here they are now. The reason they're here is because they don't really have a whole lot of choice. There isn't really another viable option. Open area is technically on the table, but nah.
Not without Amira.
Yeah.
Absolutely not without Amira. Although some teams have attempted it, not the same.
It's not fun at all, and with Amira, without Amira, it's no.
Well,
so
you had a deep lurk from Ramu down below on the Valkyrie. When this round happened, or when this site happened rather before, it was Bolo who walked up, got a 3K, and then Nora-Rengo collapsed around it, almost inside itself, like a dying star. One CEO panel is open, and there's no Bolo waltzing up the main stairs, at least not from what we can see, not in the same manner. You have to dispatch the drone to possibly take out the Electroclaw of Yashingo's Kai. Look for it and get it. There you go. The wall is yours. Open it up. The castle will be spotted, and see if there's going to be somebody who can run out. Pojo was the one who did this last time as the smoke on defense. Now he has to be wary of it as the thermite on attack. I don't know why he's hesitating.
I think he's waiting to use it in tandem with something. C4 to deny the flank watch is a miss from Ramu from behind.
Just kind of a surprise that missed. It looked like it was going to connect with Bolo or whoever's up there. I couldn't tell from the exact silhouette, but Achieve finds Mariu. Down goes the dock, and another falls two now to Ramu. This is TSM's best chance that they've had so far since sitting on match point to send this one away, but not before Nora-Rengo has something to say about it. They'll take out one body as Raisel finishes off Pojo. You know that paper control is Nora-Rengo's. You have to be very wary of it. Yashingo tries to fight back. You hear the shotgun go off, but Bolo's there. He's better. Raisel picks up kill number 2 on the Biologic. He's trying to single-handedly keep this one in for his team, but he's not going to get anywhere. Not past Bolo, at least, and in the corpse of Pojo, man. A great sacrifice. It'll be the defuse going down. Pabilia will need to spring into action, but he's caught immediately by Achieved. This is no way out. No way out indeed. It's Merc. All good. So good. All map. He'll get the very final kill, and that's map 1 in favor of TSM. They'll take it 7-4 on Bank, silencing Nora-Rengo on their own map choice.
All right, well, winning your opponent's map is really good, but yeah, there was a decent fight put up there by Nora. It seemed to be the best map we've seen from Nora so far, at least in terms of the confidence that they put into a lot of those rounds. Next map of this series is going to be Kafe when we eventually get to it. And that was TSM's map pick.
Well, that'll be that for map number 1. And you're right, Kafe up next. TSM looking to give us yet another 2-0. The Fnatic FaZe game is still ongoing. Feel free to go over to the main channel if you'd like to watch it, but we're going to throw to a break before we come back for map 2. So we'll see you in just a couple minutes. Welcome back to our second map between TSM and Nora-Rengo, and the North American squad finds themselves one map away from a dance with MIBR tomorrow. Nora-Rengo, the Japanese squad, well, they're staring down the barrel of elimination here. On Kafe we go. It's not a map that Nora-Rengo is very comfortable on your screens. Yeah. 7 bans and 1 loss. That's their record on it. Much more favorable for TSM as they are 5-0-2. This is an opportunity for another North American squad to continue onward in this event.
Yeah, definitely not ideal if you are Nora, especially considering they lost their map just now. I'm sure the expectation for Nora was, oh yeah, we'll win on map 1, then we'll go on to map 2, we'll lose that, fine. We'll take it to map 3 and see how we would do there. But we might not even get to a map 3 considering the record here. It's going to be TSM starting on attack and Nora starting on defense, so Nora will ban first, and we'll get that underway right now. Jumping right into it, Nora probably, wow, they actually banned Nomad. So I was going to say probably a Jackal ban, but Nomad is the most banned operator on attack for Nora. They like to get rid of him. TSM are going to get rid of the Jackal because of that, because they also like to ban Jackal. And probably Nora will ban out Echo if TSM doesn't, but one of them will certainly ban out Echo. So yeah, it'll be a Nora to get rid of the Echo. Both teams do not like Echo. They tend to get rid of them.
Presumably.
No, based on the stats, right? Goes down.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
Goodbye, Echo. So long. Farewell. Thanks for all the fish.
Fish?
It's another quote. You got to up your game. I'm going to start getting just...
You didn't get my dodgeball reference earlier.
Which?
Dip, duck, dive, and dodge, I think, was the one I said.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Something like that.
That's 5. The 5 Ds of dodgeball.
I forgot which one it was.
2 of them are dodge.
Okay.
That's the joke.
Did I say it wrong when I was saying it? Because I think I said it right.
I think you might have said it wrong. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. It's all semantics.
Is it, though?
I was trying to move on and not make you seem wrong. Anyway, we're going to go to Kitchen for Nora-Rengo's very first defense as Michael figures out how to use references. It's dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, if I remember correctly. The important part is that it's dodges at both ends, Michael, as you've gone completely silent. Nora-Rengo is going to start in a site that we don't usually see teams start on.
Kitchen, huh? All right. Some teams like to go here. Just to upset the tempo of the match. It's just preference, I guess. The thing is, you have to go here eventually, right? Unless you're going to try and defend mining and reading as well as top floor, which is viable, though not what we see very often. So some teams will go here. Hey, maybe they won't bring the operators you need in order to attack Kitchen. It's definitely a lot harder hard destruction. So there's only a Thermite being brought, but there's also a Thatcher. I don't think TSM are going to have any problems here in terms of operator selection. They might be a little bit off step and not be ideal in terms of their operator selection, but I don't think it'll be a problem.
Capitao is unbanned and has actually been unbanned in both of these matchups, yet has seen seldom play. I think that's very telling and very interesting. I guess maybe similar to Mira, teams are just not bringing Capitao and including him in their strats because, well, Capitao's banned so often.
I think Nora was playing Capitao most rounds in the last map, but
I played him like 2 or 3 times.
I'm playing pretty frequently, but he didn't see very much use. Like he just wasn't good for them. Like didn't get to do very much.
It's like an unhealthy relationship. It just wasn't good for them.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. Just like how Achieved is not good enough for this round. 45 seconds in, Rob finds kill number 1. Achieved is going to ride the Pine. He'll come back in round number 2. Well, that's your only set of frag grenades down, so explosiveness that you might have to worry about is gone. Everybody's going to sit pretty inside of the site because of that. Also give more value to your ADSs since Ramu doesn't have to worry too much about what projectiles are going to come through. Speaking of Ramu, I hope he put down every single one of his ADS because, well, Merc just killed him. So TSM will answer back, and it's a 4v4.
No, Shingo's just going to fall back. Perfect timing there. He almost lost his life to the IQ of Merc, who is speaking from the top. But he did. IQ going to be working out great this round. Did he actually get that? Or did he just come off of it? No way for us to tell. Oh, no, he didn't get it. Okay. I'm sure he will eventually. No? No, is he gonna... Okay. Anyway. Oh, yeah. No, it's on the other side of the wall. There you go. You got it. Nice. Mario playing inside of coat check.
What is the angle on that gun when he on ADSs?
That's the barricade thing. The staple gun?
Oh, the staple gun. I was looking at it. I was like, I just kind of glanced at it very quickly. I was like, what on earth, Mario?
You so rarely see it.
Yeah, it's obviously some kind of graphical glitch, but we'll hold on for the time being. Inside a code check, Mario is very safe. He's got Merc actually right hot on his heels. It depends on where Merc looks. This is a fight that Mario should win just because of the way that Merc will have to peek it. Even though the UMP is not the best weapon in the game, he's going to do quite a bit. Merc gives his position away right into Merc. Is Mario looking for the possible kill onto the Valkyrie as well, as it was Yoshingo who gets away, draws out the intention of Mario. 20 seconds left. Merc has just been on a heater so far in this matchup. He sees another, and he'll grab it. 3 kills for Merc. How many more can he get? Well, only 1 more since Pojo finds Papilia, and then Merc will find the last, a 4K to start things off. Not a bad entry for Merc at all.
This has been Merc's LAN, pretty much. He's really been performing for his team throughout all of their matches. And already, right off the bat, here on Kafe, he's going to have a really good one. And looks like it's going to be top floor now for Nora, which makes sense. That last round was pretty bad. They didn't seem, I'm going to be honest, they didn't really seem to know how to defend that site. And if that's telling of how they... If that is telling of Nora not knowing how to play Kafe, then I guess this is already over, because TSM certainly do. Would be surprised if Nora doesn't have anything to show us here. Maybe, for example, in this round, they'll give us the cocktail shield, where they, from the maestro, or they can play the angle, the pixel angle onto the bar. Maybe they're going to open up the bars and challenge from the bathroom or something along those lines. I don't know. Their setup is looking pretty standard so far. They are putting the necessary utility in the necessary locations. All that. I'm still wondering if Papilia or Ramu have brought a shield, maybe, because it's really beneficial to put that pixel shield on the cocktail doorway. But we won't know for a while, I guess.
Well, fine for the time being. We saw Ninjas in Pajamas when they held up here. They brought a castle a number of times. There's good flexibility that you can use. Kaid isn't banned either. He's an operator that can see some play upstairs on Cocktail as well.
They didn't bring the shield.
Did not bring the shield, Michael.
It's not the end of the world. It's just I'm trying to gauge the depth of understanding from Nora on Kafe, to be honest.
It's a lucky throw, an inch higher, and it ends up in the actual balcony itself, and is effectively useless.
I've landed one of those before. It is unfortunate when that happens.
Done a number of them, and it's great. You always get it right inside the actual basket. I think a hole-in-one is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, you got to applaud yourself for that whenever you accomplish that, and then say to yourself,
I'm not even mad.
It doesn't see anything, but that's cool.
Merc's ready to push on into Piano, but he's got a Valkyrie real close by. Somehow his drone teleported into Achieved. That was interesting to watch.
I think there was just a camera change from the spectator.
I was joking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Achieved is
trying to be snarky.
All right, gotcha. Achieved is holding on to Point Garage, and Marius can take down Biologic, and Yoshingo contributing by eliminating Merc. So the repels that were being covered ultimately not working out for TSM, and it's getting worse as Ramu adds to the body count. Pojaman on the floor. It's just Bolo now as Achieved is eliminated. So, can Bolo get the 1 versus 5 ace clutch? I mean, it's definitely possible. He's got half the round to do it. Don't discount him yet, guys. He's got the diffuser close, too.
He's just got to drop and hope for the best with the opening created here inside of Piano. And then he sees one head, takes out the Evil Eye. He's got breaching charges, not claymores, so...
And he's gone.
There he goes. Mario comes up. Flawless round from Nora-Rengo. Played very poorly by TSM on Repel. And what do you expect? Nora-Rengo just feasts on them. Eats them all alive.
It's pretty one-sided. Most one-sided round we've seen from Nora, actually, so far through this tournament, maybe? Yeah, probably. Only 2 matches, but still. So, good job to Nora. Kitchen defense now. And this is where they were unsuccessful. The very first round, they did not look comfortable on Kitchen.
It's almost a flawless round from TSM on the first round as well. So
it's pretty one-sided.
It's the when it rains, it pours, I guess you could say.
It's the same thing that we just witnessed from Nora on the top four. So, but you know, the opposite team. Nora gonna be setting up. Looks like maybe for a bakery hold this time, or no, the double reinforcing the wall. They could still hold bakery, of course, but then they wouldn't have a retreat.
See if somebody will play inside a bakery. That's where you usually have your Jaeger play of Papilia, but could be nestled deeper inside of the actual site. This looks like a very similar setup to what Nora-Rengo ran in map number 1, which is have Mariu put up the castle barricade, play down somewhere by coat check, have a body or two upstairs. Usually put Yoshingo in a position over by the brown bar.
Be a lot of information outside, of course, but Merc has been pretty proficient at hunting down those Valkyrie cams so far through this match. So I imagine that that's not going to last too long. If nothing else, waste a little bit of Merc's time.
Let's see what he can accomplish. He was so good in round number 1. Round number 2, he was just completely asleep at the wheel there.
Well, everyone was on TSM, to be fair.
I think Bull is the only person from TSM who's actually able to successfully get in the building for more than a second or two.
Yeah.
Hojo opened up the wall, but that was really all she wrote.
Go Bolo, I guess.
Papilia gets droned out here as he's waiting, ready to just jump out on what appears to be Biologic, seated outside on the balcony. Papilia's just waiting for that call, desperately waiting for that call. He's got Ramu above, just to maybe get under the skin of anybody who tries to drone him out, and uh-oh, there we go. But he's watched and caught by Merc, waiting so patiently.
New drop, maybe? It looked like an angle from New drop.
Not entirely sure.
Wish we could see.
Merc is inside.
Yeah. So it was from New drop, and then he fell down right after. Good kill there to Merc.
Control this top floor and continue to try to hunt down both the Valkyrie and the Vigil who are above. Ramu has somehow managed to get away. He's not unscathed, that's for sure, but he's still alive, at least for the time being. Biologic finds Yoshingo and pulls out the SMG-12 as Achieve continues to wander on, but no, Ramu looks the wrong way, and Merc will collapse on him. TSM finding themselves with 3 kills to 1 for Nora-Rengo, and it's a 4v2. TSM enough to double up on them with half of the round still to go. Lots of time.
Could have easily been a little bit better there for Ramu, but he looked the wrong way at the wrong moment. Happens. Time can be really, or sorry, not time. Sound can be really crazy in this game sometimes. Racehill playing an aggressive position over by pillars. He's gonna get one before Bolo goes for the refrag and gets it. Mariu, the last one alive, and he is anchoring in the site. In fact, the only anchor, I think. Yeah, there was only just Mariu through that whole round. So you gotta imagine if TSM had just walked in through Bakery, maybe this would have been a little bit different. But as it is, TSM still has a distinct advantage, and they're going to take this slow because they know that Mariu could quite easily clutch it if he plays it right. He has about the worst gun for a clutch situation. That's the UMP. Doesn't even have a 30-round magazine, and it doesn't have good DPS. It at most is a good headshot weapon. Oh, an aggressive play, and he's gonna get one for free. That's Pojo, man. The refrag from Merc, though, is in, and TSM will take another round. It's 2 for them. Nora still sitting with just 1.
You don't think I've always wondered about that music? It doesn't sound very Kafe-esque.
I haven't heard the music before. Which one are we talking about?
You just heard it. The music at the end that plays at the end after.
Oh, you're talking about like the round victory music?
Yeah, it doesn't sound very Kafe-esque. I'd imagine something more like
Isn't there
strings, etc.
Aren't most of the round? I never really paid much attention to them, to be honest. But aren't most of them like the same across a lot of the different maps?
I thought they changed depending on what map it was.
I think that the new maps, like the DLC maps, they all have unique ones.
Could be.
But I think some of the old maps, they all had the same one. But I'm not sure. I've never actually paid attention to it. I think I have mine muted, if that's possible. I'm not 100% on that.
Well, we listened to it here, and we'll hear it for quite a bit because we're still going to be on Kafe for a long while. TSM will take the lead, or regain the lead, rather. If you want to be very specific, on 7 kills from Merc.
Jeez.
Merc has been absolutely incredible so far. He was great against Team Empire, and he's good today against Nora-Rengo as well. And if TSM does win this matchup, they'll need him to be good against MIBR too. It's a reading defense for Nora-Rengo. They have an opportunity to go back down to the kitchen. They won't do that. They're going to go to the middle floor instead. And if they're successful here, Cocktail will reopen. Well, Cocktail will reopen no matter what. But
Parker, are we allowed to say that Merc has been merking? Is that like a thing? Can we say that?
Yeah.
Or is that not allowed?
I guess.
Oh, okay.
Why wouldn't you be able to say that?
I don't know, because it's too old school. I don't know.
It is a bit of a dated reference. Nobody says merked anymore.
Yeah, no one does, but it's, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Do you?
I feel you.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Good job.
TSM had some struggles when playing on Repel before. Kitchen has been a favorable site for them twice. Why? Because they don't have to worry about repelling and getting jumped out on windows. They need to take control of the hatches and then push from there. That is the big struggle for them. And as it stands right now, well, they've managed to open up one hatch. Sounds like they might be able to get the second. That's the new hatch that opens up. Back onto Repel they go. They've got Bio watching for the run out because they know that Nora-Rengo is a team that likes to do this. And we saw it just round 2, frankly. It was not a lot of runouts from Nora-Rengo, but aggressiveness that came through the windows. And now they'll bring Bio on in closer to the site, or at least closer to the map. Still on Repel. Very vulnerable, as you can tell. If you're not upside down Repel, watching a certain angle, you don't have a lot of maneuverability. You don't have a lot of movement the same way that others do that are free and clear of actually being on side Repel. That's why you have to be very careful. TSM now has piano control. They've still got a body up on the skylight. They can go down at any point. And there they go. Bolo, his own person. He'll go on to drone. Spotted the Jaeger. They know he's somewhere nearby, and they've got enough guns to be able to deal with him.
Chief's going to use his sledgehammer here to aggress on the Jaeger, who he just droned out, and he's actually in the same spot. So this is a really easy kill if he did. Oh no! Papilio, what a reaction! And Yoshingo also waking up, Ramu contributing, and Biologic the last one to go. But a flawless round from Nora. What an explosive and quick finish.
It's these rounds that Nora-Rengo are winning. They're winning them so quickly and so decisively.
Both have been flawless.
That is correct.
That's insane.
Did you say that's insane?
Yeah, it's weird, man. And it's insanity. Is that unfair?
Have I ever told you what the definition of insanity is?
Isn't it trying the same thing the same way and expecting a different result? Yeah, well, there you go.
It's also a quote from a Ubisoft game. I mean, it wasn't started there, but it's popularized by... It was in Far Cry 3.
Oh, I stopped playing Far Cry after the first one.
How old are you?
22. But I played the first one. I think wasn't that like the one where you like some kind of mutant or something like that? It was a long time ago. Don't remember.
Anyway, back up to Cocktail we go.
All right, so this is really good for Nora. They are doing really well on the top floor defense. And it was the first round that they managed to win. Honestly, whenever Nora spend time upstairs, they tend to be pretty strong. The one site that Nora does not clearly know how to defend is the basement. I say basement again. I don't know why I'm doing that. The bottom floor. It's not underground. Anyway. Nora doesn't know how to defend kitchen. They have struggled there continuously, but whenever Nora has either roamers or anchors playing by Cocktail, if you didn't know, by the way, is the A-bomb site. Whenever they have roamers or anchors by Cocktail, they are pretty comfortable on this map. I think it comes down to, obviously, the inherent advantage that this top floor offers the defenders, but also Nora just being really proficient at playing there. Now, that is only going to last as long as they let it. If they keep trying to go down to kitchen, I think that Nora might put themselves at such a round disadvantage that they will have trouble recovering the round. The map, I should say. And if they keep going to things like reading, top floor, and even mining, I think that Nora will have a better run. But, hey, it's their decision. And this could be an easy kill here for Yoshingo, but he's actually going to lose HP and dish out no damage on that peak where he had the information advantage. Curious.
That was against Merc, and he missed every shot, it looked to be.
Yeah.
That is puzzling, and there goes the Valkyrie camera as well as it gets shot. Not exactly aware of where the Valkyrie is playing inside of that room. Now keep in mind that all of TSM had their ropes and rappels cut by Nora-Rengo when they were here the last time, so they have to be especially careful and mindful of the exact same ways that they lost out on before. There's no real hatch presence, at least so far. There it goes as the top hatch goes, and then the wall of Cigar will be blown out as well. Puts Merc back on rappel as he flirts around with the window just to see if anybody's going to give him an inch. He swings on in, and this is really risky. He's going to get lit up from over in Pixel Spot. Spies the head of the Maestro. Pojo takes out Ramu, and there goes Yoshingo. It's a tidal wave right now for TSM, washing Nora-Rengo off of sight.
Wow, if he just stands up.
And we're playing around. That's a beautiful shot from Merc. That's kill number 8. As the rest of the guns from TSM were able to help him there. A 5v2. Nora-Rengo backs against the wall. You got 2 bodies playing over by Cocktail. 2 players. Racel pushing on up. Mariu finds Merc. Cool him off. But Merc finds Racel. So it's all on to Mariu, who pulls out the pistol. Or the 44 semi-auto. He's not going to go anywhere. I think that's achieved his very first kill. And he finds the scoreboard at the right time. No matter what happens, TSM will, at worst, tie this half. And that's pretty good for Kafe. We see a lot of teams usually take a 4-2 scoreline on defense. Won't be the case here. The best Nora-Rengo is going to be able to get is a draw. And it's going to be another attempt at Cocktail above.
Well, I said that Nora doing well on that top floor, and then they lost it. And they lost it decisively. Nice take there from TSM, though. Got to hand it to them. That's a good job. But, yeah, that's the first time that Nora have failed to hold on to that top floor, whether it be roaming or holding it hard. And we'll see if they can make it happen here in the last round of the first half. But if they can't, then that does not bode well for their overall performance in this match. It certainly seems like, at this moment, TSM are going to be able to roll through this with a pretty easy 2-0. Just given what we've been seeing so far through Kafe. A lot of that has to do with the fact that now the rest of TSM are starting to contribute apart from just Merc. And yes, it was the first kill, I believe, for achieved. However, it's the right time, you know, and also Merc's hogging all the kills right now, so.
He really is.
Yeah.
The man needs to share.
Yep.
I know it's Russia. I know that. There's a joke in there about it being Russia and they like sharing things.
I don't know.
Communism, Michael.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's...
You gotta spread the wealth around here, Merc, okay?
Yeah. Please, Merc.
Thank you. Let the rest of your team get in on the action.
And they did in the last round, and that's why TSM managed to win it. It was a team effort. They all contributed, and contributed. And it was a good effort. Props to them for that. Merc has been doing so well at hunting down these cameras. So well, in fact, that I feel like I've been saying his name a whole heck of a lot. You know, he got the frags, and he's just not letting Valkyrie have cameras. And yet, Valkyrie keeps bringing, you know, Valkyrie. Could bring other operators. There are choices. I wonder if any of those cams have been useful. I have a feeling that no.
Yeah, really depends. Oh no, Bolo immediately loses his drone and then shoots it right away as he knew there was a pest somewhere nearby.
Kind of worth it, to be honest.
I mean, you clear out the pest. You can get another one go through.
Yeah, pests are really, really annoying. Hence the name.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, a minute to go, and there's your drop. The wall is yours for the taking, Pojo, if you want to open it up. And Yoshingo is down below. He's going to go for the run out. Will Bio be able to get it? He sees the arm and he pushes back.
Oh, patience. Ooh, really bad timing there from Biologic to drop, and Merc's going to go down. That's really unfortunate. He shouldn't have done that. But he did get the refrag, so at least there's that. It did cost him half of his HP, though. That was kind of hard to watch, though. We had the outlines. Biologic did not, to be fair to him. He didn't know that the Valkyrie would peek at that moment.
Yeah, he saw the arm go and the jiggle of the Valkyrie around the doorway, and I think Bio was worried that the Valkyrie might be able to see him, which is why he moved. Who knows exactly. Ophelia just trying to get some damage in. Maybe get an assist or two here on the Pojo and Bio, should they end up getting the kills. Everything is equalized. There's a lot of quiet now for the time being. Frag grenade goes through and it'll bounce the other way. I don't know if that was where it was supposed to go. As Pojo will use his last exothermic charge and crack open the bar back storage. Some remaneuvering here and repositioning. They don't know that there's nobody playing over there. They've got to confront the opening that was created just next to the reinforcement over by that back bar storage, and there go the EMPs. If there was an ADS in the way, they would have been caught, so at least you have that information handy, which means that if Bolo still has some utility left, it can be quite powerful. Also means that if Achieve still has one lone frag grenade, it could possibly find its target. Ramu's creeping on up. Bolo will have to watch the door. This will be a fight just to see if they can hold control of Piano with Mariu down below. Bolo finds Ramu. You'll have to spring into action at some point, won't you? There's Papilia and Racel, though. Oh, another from Papilia as Mariu on the flank gets spotted, but Achieve will need to push up. This is incredibly difficult. He doesn't have that diffuser. He's got sidearm out, but he's not going to get past Racel. Two members of Nora-Rengo all holding the same way, so that there was no way that Achieve could go through. He's going to get pinched. That's 3-3 through the first half. TSM will now go on to defense on their map and see if they're any better than so far they've been on attack against Nora-Rengo.
So all things considered, 3-3 is a favor to TSM. This is, of course, Kafe, which is a defender-sided map. So right now, Nora going even in the first half have to be really a little bit... well, it doesn't seem like they actually have any kind of semblance of understanding of or care about that. But yeah, no, they did technically lose the first half going 3-3. TSM got to be happy about that one. And they'll be going to top floor to start things off. The big thing was that Nora couldn't successfully defend the bottom floor. That was what really upset Nora in that first half. And the fact that they also lost one of their top defenses is not great for Nora. It's going to be a complete back and forth, as you can see, for the first half. No plants, if I can recall. Yeah, I don't think there were any plants. And just straight up winning on kills, both teams. Now it'll be Nora's turn to attack and see if they can get any diffuser plants. TSM, again, sitting up top floor. They brought everything that you expect them to bring. And it looks like they brought a shield, but Bolo's actually going to use it on the balcony, the cocktail balcony, instead of that pixel angle that you see sometimes from the cocktail door to the main bar. You need to put it wherever you're comfortable with. The fact that he put it on cocktail balcony means that you can challenge that now onto new drop balcony, often referred to as heaven. Aggressive peek there from Merc. No shots landed, though. There is a debate as to which balcony is heaven.
We're gonna do this one again.
We're just not. I'm just gonna say we shouldn't call either of them. We should just new and cocktail. I think it's easier.
Cocktail and then
and new.
And then new balcony, not new cocktail.
No, that would be. Don't confuse it now.
Not new cocktail.
We can't do it.
It has to be new balcony.
Yeah.
It'd be like new cocktail. I was like, what
is that?
No.
Well, technically, it's an addition to cocktail.
It is new cocktail.
Yeah.
But not the way we call it.
Nope.
There's new hatch where Ramu is right now, and he'll open it up.
Right above. New balcony.
New other non-cocktail balcony.
Yes, that one.
I feel like we've got it now.
Yep, nailed it. Ramu going to be using his IQ gadgetry to try and detect things in the building, but he hasn't found any of the Valkyrie cameras that are outside, as we saw earlier. It's really important to note. Achieved with the run out, but he commits and gets refragged. Interesting.
Who did this that we saw? Was it the NIP game?
What are we talking about?
I was trying to remember. There was a Kafe matchup that we casted where they did exactly this, and somebody...
The runouts?
Yeah. Must have been G2 CAG.
It's like every player is guilty of doing that once or twice, so...
Fair enough. Oh no, Mariu's just going to let Biologic sail by as cruel twist of fate there. As the Legion scoots on over, you hit a goo mine.
Yeah, bad timing.
Unlucky timing.
Happens, though. Not a whole lot you can do about that sometimes. It's not like he knew. And then it's going to be Mariu going on Repel, looking for the player in Piano, and misses the shot. A little bit of an over-adjustment there. He aimed too high. Hard to see. The lighting's not great there, and Merc is going to persist with the vault. Oh, narrowly avoiding death. It'll finally go down to Yoshingo, as will Biologic to Mariu. So, all right, Nora cleaning up shop. TSM leaving themselves way too exposed. It's just Pojo and Bolo in a 2 versus 4.
How different this is to what we saw from Nora-Rengo, right? They were just all over the windows, gunning down every single member of TSM, but TSM has shown a great reluctance to actually put any pressure onto those windows at all. This is doable, though extraordinarily unlikely, as another smoke will go out from Pojo Man. The break-in from Nora-Rengo to see if there will be an answer back here, but I believe Pojo spotted the head. surely he does, doesn't he? He breaks on in. He's in so much trouble. He's not able to do much. Literally cooking alive, but he'll take Raysol down, losing 50 HP. Polo's in much worse spot, and with the diffuser going down, they'll have to be very good with the timing here. Pojo still doesn't really know where anybody is. He hears one to the left, and even though he gets the ping, he doesn't get the pre-fire. Nora-Rengo, for the very first time, they've got a lead here on Kafe, looking to steal TSM's map away, just as TSM stole it from Nora-Rengo.
So there are a couple big mistakes made there by TSM and Pojo in particular, but whoever was on camera is who I'm most angry at. I look at that, I'm like, oh no, why did you mark him? Because the guy in the corner, as soon as he gets marked, he's like, oh, they know where I am. I got to peek and pre-fire.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. Pojo died because of that. So instead of marking, just call it. Just call it, man. He's in front of the grandfather clock. All right, so anyway, Pojo Man playing inside a freezer had a gas canister left. He didn't need to peek into the fire. He could have just smoked default, and the plant wouldn't have gone down. Big whoops. I don't know if you noticed it, but that could have given Bolo and Pojo a little bit more maneuverability if they had denied the plant, but it didn't happen. Now, TSM, we're going to go back to the top floor. It was a good execution from Nora, by the way, I have to mention. Especially the firebolt placement was 10 out of 10. We've seen Nora bring Capital a lot, and we haven't seen their Capital be very good. And yeah, Capital saved that last round, just now. Pojo Man would have just peeked it with the shotgun or the SMG-11 and denied the plant if it weren't for those firebolts. So good for the Capital. Well done to Nora. And yeah, they're gonna bring it again. They're gonna go to top floor attack once more. We'll see if TSM can change things up.
Second time's a charm here, maybe.
Yeah.
Surprised with how little diversity we've really seen here on Kafe, because the defense isn't winning the same way as before. We've seen Kitchen twice, we've seen Cocktail 5 times, we've seen Reading once. Usually there's a bit more variety when it comes to Kafe. We have also an update for you on the other matchup that's happening right now, which is Fnatic versus FaZe. So if you want to cover your ears, please feel free to do so. Map 1 went in favor of FaZe. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, production, but I'm pretty sure it went in favor of FaZe. I'm like 99% certain. That is correct. Thank you so much, production. So map 1 going in favor of FaZe. It took all 15 rounds. Map 2 is going very much in favor of FaZe. 4-0 right now. So the Aussies might be sent packing last in their group. That is really something when you consider it. I had them actually winning their entire group, so it goes to show you exactly what I know.
Nothing.
That's absolutely nothing. Well, I had them when I did my CGG predictions, I had them and FaZe making it out of their group. I did not think that Forza was going to make it out.
Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of people did. A lot of people didn't expect Forza to be as good as they are.
But they are, and here we go. I don't know what they feed those players in Russia, but damn, it works.
That's crazy how Russia just came into the scene recently, and there's like all those hidden talent that's now doing insanely well.
Yeah.
But in this match here, Nora, TSM, Nora find themselves in the lead. They're really gunning for that map number 3, and I didn't expect them to take it this far on Kafe, if I'm being honest, considering it's a map that they're not too familiar with.
I'm the same boat as you. And I think that TSM would have been able to put this one away maybe a little bit faster, just simply because of the fact that Nora-Rengo really doesn't play this map. But hey, here we are.
When they do, they lose it. So
and TSM is pretty decent on it.
Yeah, they've got a good record. TSM's record 3 bans, 5 wins, 0 draws, 2 losses. Nora's record 7 bans. They don't like it. No wins, no draws, and 1 loss. So yeah, Nora should probably be done right now, but they're actually in the lead, which is impressive in of itself. TSM couldn't hold the top floor last time. They're going to try it one more time. But I say that in the round's like almost done. We're at the 45-second mark, and no one's died.
We've been talking about nothing.
Because nothing's been happening.
But here we are.
Piano control in favor of Nora, and that's about it.
We waited so patiently. Long have we waited, something, Twitch copy-pastes that everybody loves to say. And Biologic falls back, so too will Merc. Hits the drone, or actually it looks like he missed the drone every single time, and it will
jumped.
Scoot on by. This can get real tough. Achieved finds Ramu, there goes the drone, another for Achieved. He'll pick up 2, Merc is there, and Nora-Rengo is being batted down. Every single time they try to go in, they're thwarted. There's another for Achieved, looking for 4, he'll get him. All but 1, Merc picks up 1, but Achieved a huge round, and the Moz, he just flies under the radar with TSM, tying it back up at 4 apiece.
think they're going to go kitchen or reading?
I think kitchen.
I think kitchen too. Find out in a second. All right, so that round, just a quick recap. Nora took control of piano. TSM weren't playing in piano anymore. If you recall correctly, the first time that TSM went to the top floor, they were holding heavy in piano. They were getting, they were being aggressive on the roam, and TSM lost a bunch of players for free, basically, trying to play those aggressive angles because they were rotating, and Nora caught them, picked them off, and had the advantage when they went for the site pick. This time, TSM just waited. And that was the end of the round. Nora, when they went for the site pick, site take, I should say, they didn't really have anything to work with. No advantage, no avenue into the site, very little time. No, that was it. So TSM are going to go to reading because they hate us, and our predictions can't be right. They're not allowed. And they'll open up the wall, the back of A. So it looks like they're going to be playing an off-ace A defense. That's a lot of teams do. I don't know many people who actually hard hold A site on reading defensive Kafe. It is starting to become the kind of the, the house meme is like, don't reinforce kitchen's bedroom. Remember that one? That's an old one. But A bomb site or dining on this map is kind of in the same wheelhouse these days. Or at least in like Pro League, for example, most teams will open it up in one place or another so that they can play it from off-site, whether from laundry, white stairs, or reading. You got a lot of options, but yeah, that's what makes reading, dining, I think, a happy place for a lot of teams. For TSM, man, at least that's based on how they're setting it up right now.
The nerve of this man!
He really wants it, man. He wants it.
The nerve of this man!
And he's being shot at right now. He's just like, I wonder if I can take this fight.
I'm not sure. He'll scamper on off. He's still got utility, too, as well. If he wants to drop one of his ADSs down at some point, he can do so at his leisure. Explosions rattle through as it sounds like one of the hatches have been opened up. And it's achieved right now inside of the bar backstore. That's so much easier to say than back storage, like bar back storage. Bar back.
I just call it storage.
Storage?
Yeah, I mean, let me think. There aren't really, yeah, there's nowhere else. Like, I don't call anything else storage to you.
Fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, on this map, so yeah, just storage.
But, anywho.
You can say bar back, because it sounds cool.
And a bar back is an actual title inside of a restaurant. Polo takes down Racil, and he'll drop immediately. Merc finds Yoshingo, and Nora-Rengo now having a great degree of difficulty.
Oh.
Just, no!
He's dropping the good night.
Good night!
He's dropping a good
Man
night.
hit the good night!
It must have been,
That must have been a hell of a shot.
Must be impressive. I'm sad that we missed it now. If he's really going to drop a good night.
Oh my goodness.
That doesn't happen. They don't do that very often.
This man!
Merc is on fire,
Come
though.
get your man!
He's on fire, dude.
I can't believe he hit him with a good night.
He's destroying people verbally and literally in game.
Oh my goodness. Oh my word.
My favorite part is that he didn't even say wow. He was like, wow, what the heck, nice shot.
Yeah.
Merc having a really good match right now, and he's going to take control of piano back. Achieved, will get one, but gets refragged, but that call just went out to the whole team. Everyone on TSM is likely to lock down red stairs. Papilia is going to try and get out and die to Merc. So not a flawless round from TSM. Close, but no, not quite. And at the same time, though, that's 5-4 TSM's favor, and it'll be a tactical timeout and a little bit of a pause right after this, because I think that's the right time.
I can't believe he hit him with it. I can't believe he hit him with a good night.
I've never seen that. I've seen LOLs. We saw Pojo Man drop a couple of LOLs.
I think it was Gio. It was either Gio or Easley said NTGN, which stands for like nice try, good night.
Really?
Yeah, at the end of a map.
No, I didn't see that.
I think Gio dropped it against Rec, maybe? Somebody will correct me. I don't exactly know the history behind Goodnight.
I mean, it doesn't start with Siege, so...
As you can see on your screen, it's a tactical timeout from Nora-Rengo, and they need it. This map is slowly slipping away from them. They had a hot start on attack, but since then, it's been TSM all the way down, playing very effectively, and playing the way you expect them to.
Yeah, if I could be... completely candid, Nora have been having some really amazing moments, but if I'm talking about, if I'm looking at teamwork, and if I'm looking at the way that these have been playing out, I'm definitely giving the edge to TSM strong, because it seems like they're more working as a unit, a cohesive unit that understands the map a little bit more in detail. This is likely, what we're seeing right now is likely why Nora banned Kafe so frequently, and I gotta be honest, they should be practicing it. It is a very much an in vogue, in meta map. It's what people in North America, Europe, and even in Latin America as well, to an extent, really like playing. Kafe has become popular, and Nora should jump on the train. Certainly after this one, I think that's going to be kind of obvious to them. They're putting up such an admirable fight, though, considering how, rather obvious their inexperience on this map is. I'm impressed that they're going toe-to-toe with TSM. 5-4 is not the scoreline I expected here. Then again, I also did kind of think that Nora could have beaten TSM on map 1, and that didn't happen.
It's the same thing that Nora-Rengo did against MIBR yesterday. MIBR probably should have walked away with that matchup being the 7-1, 7-2 tops.
Well, that was with the sub, too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nora-Rengo should not have been able to hang as well as they did, and part of me says that it was MIBR performing astonishingly bad, and I still agree with that.
That still happens, yeah.
I think that was a very poor match by MIBR. Bullet had a great match, but I think that the rest of the team really struggled. It also could just simply be that Nora-Rengo, being as exceedingly talented as they are, and they break right in. It's a kitchen defense. They're very, very close. They're going to open things up. Hasty as it may be, and Ramu gets one. But how does Racel blow himself up with his own thermite charge? That is not what you want to see. That is the end, realistically, of that push.
That should end the round and put TSM on match point, but Yoshingo's saying, no, I want this. Pojo Man aggressive angle, and he's getting his second kill, and he'll be refragged by Yoshingo, who has his own second. It's a 2 versus 2, speaking of the number 2. It's going to be Biologic, who gets lit up by the red hallway, and it actually might have been by his teammate Merc, I think, who put some bullets into him.
Papilia's getting the defuse down, and Bio's there, not too far off. Merc is close by, but they're just boxed out of the sight, so Nora-Rengo somehow managed to turn this one around. Yoshingo's very low. I don't think anybody knows his location. Oh, there you go. Yoshingo takes even more damage. It's all up to Bio. This has been played really well, a good recovery, and Bio knows there's somebody over there. The frag grenade will go away. There's Claymore in the way, and Bio will manage to shoot that one out and go in, but Nora-Rengo somehow... They pull a rabbit out of a hat on that round. Oh my goodness. Things were going so bad for them and so south. And Racel, we are all your fate. Yep, that is exactly what happened. You blew yourself up. That is correct.
He's very apologetic.
That is
I thought the round was over at that point.
Yes, he's saying, yeah.
He got the kill onto himself, and then Nora probably shouldn't have been able to recover that, but TSM somehow got locked out of their own sight, and Papilia at the end there slammed the door, said, no, you can't come back, and covered the plant of the diffuser.
That was a very wholesome moment and genuinely funny, and I'm going to go out on a wild limb here and say that still there are people right now in Twitch chat who are typing cringe, who don't understand humor in any capacity. Seeing something as genuinely funny as that and then being, cringe.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say that there are people who don't know, or the same people you're talking about who are in Twitch chat right now typing cringe about what you just said.
And they're going to be like, wow.
And it's just going to keep going.
To make jokes. Yeah. Cringe.
Cringe.
Just in case you want to know, the word cringe doesn't mean anything anymore because you don't know how to use it.
It's lost its value for sure. But that happens. They come in waves, and it'll be something else next. Anyway, in this match, away from all that, vernacular, TSM are setting themselves up on the top floor defense, 5-5. I gotta imagine if you're TSM right now, you're thinking to yourself, they should have been over a while ago, right? And that's gotta, burrow deep into your head and start, causing doubts on your capability to lock this out, because, we're barreling towards possible OT, maybe just a lockout here from Nora, and a map 3. That could very well happen at this point. This is the, as you like to say, penultimate round.
It is penultimate. It means it's the second last.
Yeah.
But I
for one of these teams.
I honestly suspect we're going to go to overtime.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see OT.
I think we'll see OT.
Yeah, and
The
then,
way these teams have been playing, absolutely.
so it's potentially the penultimate.
Penultimate to me is what tertiary is to Flynn, and Flynn's best
Just a
decision.
word you like to use.
We're going to go to the tertiary side.
It's fun to say, tertiary.
This is the tertiary side.
It means the like it's primary, secondary, tertiary. For those of you who
Tertiary
don't know.
just means third.
So, yeah, Nora, they need to attack on the top floor. Now, TSM, they learned their lesson when defending this floor, that getting aggressive and trying to hold on to an extension of the site is a bad idea against Nora. So TSM stopped doing that, and when they stopped doing that, they started winning top floor defenses quite easily. I can see that happening yet again. TSM, they're nowhere near Cigar, they're nowhere near a Piano, they're just chilling. They've got roamers, but none of them in an extension on the horizontal plane. They're all just downstairs. C4 is ready, and that makes sense because Nora have not been clearing out downstairs, so you may as well take advantage of that. That could change, but Nora are currently all on the roof or on rappel, and there's only a minute left, so it's unlikely that a downstairs clear will come out. This is a very late drop, I have to say, from Nora.
Yeah, raise your hand if you figured there was only a minute left in the round, because I sure didn't figure that. It's been deceptively quick. Cocktail it is, and the pressure coming in from inside a Piano as there goes the exothermic charge, and goodbye Raysil. But it sounds like the charge might still go off.
I'm not sure.
Sound like Achieved got him. The last time there was a Cocktail defense, Achieved just ran absolutely roughshod over the defenders.
Nope,
He got the exothermic charge. That is excellent. Down goes Pojo, man. Not an operator you want to lose necessarily. Mary absorbing an awful lot of damage after taking Pojo. But that's about it. Achieved will find another. This is just his site. This is his playhouse, and he's going to toy with them. Toy with his food. Merc's going to get in on the action. He did last time as well. A 4v2 with TSM holding on, looking to move to match point, and Merc will find yet another. So up to Ramu with the diffuser down. Who's above? Oh! And if you're not dropping a good night in chat after that one, Merc, I'm going to have to question your decision-making skills, young man. That's a beautiful shot, and it's match point for TSM, series point as well.
There's no good night. It didn't happen. He took his hands off the keyboard. Maybe he forgot.
I have to officially question his decision-making.
You know, we didn't see the shot that prompted the good night, so it must have been absolutely insane, because he just picked up a three-piece, very impressively done, and he didn't drop it there. So, man, I am really sad that we didn't get to see that now.
It was a one-tap.
Yeah.
It was just horrific. It was gorgeous, but it was horrific.
It's beautiful to watch, but at the same time, horrific because of what it did to Nora. It put them up against match point for TSM, and TSM still in defense, still the advantaged side, and they're going to go to Reading, which is a site that hasn't been defended very much. It's the third time total. TSM were successful the last time they went to Reading. So right now, the odds are not good for Nora.
No, not at all.
Look at Merc.
I mean, we can't see him. He's not on the 15 kills. He and Achieved have really been something else on defense. Merc has been fantastic all over the board.
Remember when Achieved in the first half had like no presence? Then suddenly defense.
There's nobody that's really stood out to me for Nora-Rengo. I mean, Mario has done the job that you expect him to. Same with Ramu. They've been very good. Yoshingo wasn't anywhere near in this event so far through these two matches. He hasn't been anywhere near where he was in Milan. I don't know if that's just the team having to play around, you know, the first matchup with Kazoku and the second matchup with, you know, Mario possibly still being quite sick. Whether Nora-Rengo goes home or not, I cannot begin to express the amount of respect I have for Mario.
Yeah.
The fact that he came in. He might still be very sick. We don't know.
I imagine
he's playing.
I imagine he, if nothing else, he's still recovering, but I think he is still really in a bad spot. So, got to have definitely a lot of respect for him.
And it's been a valiant effort. He's played well, I think, on both maps. Not up to what we're used to seeing from him, but the whole team is kind of lagged behind where we expect them to be. So they have an opportunity to throw this one to overtime. It's not over just yet. But TSM, obviously, on defense, on Reading, they're going to hold upstairs in Cocktail. And the one thing that Nora-Rengo has been very good at doing is repel play, being able to push on in and then go from there, keep that ball rolling. And they've got a handy-dandy operator in the Lion to make it a lot easier. Hold you in place, paralyze you, constrict you, and then kill you. Typically how it works.
Run CC.
Correct.
Yeah. And it has been a tool that Nora has used to great effect in the past. We'll see if they can make that happen now. Ooh, challenge here from Papilia onto Bolo. Neither will land any bullets. A little bit of a detection there, but it's not going to be the downfall of Bolo. Papilia will take out Achieved, which is really good to do, considering how much Achieved has been contributing.
It's an asphyxiating bolt that's going to go as well, but there's Bolo, takes out Yoshingon, and hasn't been spotted yet. Merc eliminating Racel, and TSM once again takes the lead. The second line charge is going to go out, and Bolo finds Papilia, so it's all up to Ramu and Mariu. This is tough. What a play from Merc. He's going to keep up his rampage, and he's going to seal the deal. No, Merc misses onto Ramu, and he's down for the count. It's a 3v1 with the Lion up top. He's still got one piece of utility, plus his stun grenades, and he holds the diffuser, but he doesn't have much HP as he surveys the corpses of his teammates and his fellow countrymen. Nora-Rengo with one man, Ramu, trying to keep this team in contention, or else they join Cyclops. It's a team from APAC that goes home, lighting them up. It's none other than Bolo, and TSM will play tomorrow. They punch their ticket to the very final day. It's them versus MIBR. And we say goodbye to yet another APAC team. So long. Thank you for stopping by, Nora-Rengo.